Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 3 of a best of 3 between Gonzo and ZZ in the semi-finals of Season 2 of the Steel Division League. Today they are playing on Tsel, and on the left side, in the red team, we have Gonzo playing on the Soviet side using the 184th Rifles and the flatline deployment type. And on the right side, on the blue team, also playing on the Soviet side, we have ZZ using the 44th Guards Rifles and the Vanguard deployment type. For the bans for this game, Gonzo banned ZZ from playing the 184th Rifles, the 1st Polish Infantry, the 26th Guards, and the 3rd Guards Tank Corps, and ZZ banned Gonzo from playing the 3rd Guards Tank Corps, the 1st Polish Infantry, the 26th Guards, and the 44th Guards Rifles. So both playing what the other didn't ban. So of course Gonzo banned the 184th from ZZ but is playing it himself, and ZZ banned the 44th from Gonzo and is playing it himself. So both playing the division that they valued the most, which is interesting. Either way, 184th is a very strong division at the moment in 1v1 because of its use of decent infantry in the form of like the Strelki DP, being backed up by things like the Stuarts in the early game, as well as an abundance of decent support weapons and reasonable artillery as well. On the side of the 44th, it can be pretty decent because of its use of the T-34s, as well as also decent infantry as well. So both of these players sort of going to go for sort of infantry-based playstyles, maybe more armor on the side of the 44th. That's basically what we're going to be looking at. Once again, we have a Vanguard versus Flatline, which means that ZZ is going to have to get a significant advantage in Phase A if he wants to win out in this game. Otherwise, Gonzo will use that Flatline to outlast him, which isn't something that I would generally perceive Gonzo to do. Gonzo is still a very aggressive player, and he's well known for being an aggressive player. But it means that if you don't quite get the better of him in the early game, then he still has that insurance for the late game. But let's have a look at some of these units going down. So once again, Gonzo, quick on the deployment. On the top side, we have two 45mm AT guns. Behind that, there's going to be 3 Strelki DP and 2 standard Strelki squads. Further down, we see 2 units of the snipers, including the ace sniper there, and 2 Strelki. Towards the bottom side, it's going to be a lot of units. We've got the 3 45mm AT guns. There's going to be 3 units of flamers, the Ognemachiki, Strelki DP, 3 units, make that 4 units of Tanko Desaniki, 2 M5L Stuarts, and another Tanko and Avto at the back there. Further down, we do see the Ognemachiki 2-man flamer squads. There's going to be the 45mm AT gun and then the 2 Avto Machiki. These are the 10-man squads with submachine guns. Over on the side of ZZ, on the bottom side of the map, going to be 4 flamers, 45mm AT gun. Once again, bringing those in with the 2-star veterancy. Sniper, going to be 3 Gavardia DP and the 2 Ognemachiki. So this is going to be a big difference between the infantry on the side of the 44th and the 184th. The 44th using Gavardia and the 184th using Strelki. Gavardia are particularly worse because they don't have SVTs on their extra machine gun infantry. So the Gavardia DP, they use Mosin Nagants, whereas the Strelki DP, they use SVTs. So at the medium range, the Strelki DP are better. In towards the middle of the map, we got 2 T-34 76 1942s here with the 90mm of frontal armor and a T-34 85 Komrotti. That's the leader variant of the T-34 85. Then we see also a bunch of different infantry here as well. 2 Tanko Desaniki, there's going to be a Sapari, Gavardia DP, standard Gavardia. There's also the Vizuvod UPR, which are the artillery leaders. That's basically just a larger infantry leader squad, and then we have the flamer squad there. Further up, another flamer squad leading 3 units of Gavardia, 1 Gavardia DP with a 45mm AT gun, and on the very top side just 1 Gavardia DP. So Interesting deployment for this top side especially. I'm not sure if that's quite finished by ZZ yet. But if he's planning to use one Gavardia DP, that's one hell of a ruse he's trying to pull off. I guess he'll just place it towards the edge of this town and then try and pin down anything that moves across the open. And then if he sees that Gonzo is trying to push on this top side, will then reinforce, giving him hopefully enough time to do so. But there is a much larger amount of forces on this top side, maybe looking for that push into the town. So he's got to be very careful, especially considering the transports of snipers and also the flamers, not that there are any, are very, very quick. Let's have a look at where the deployments are going. So most of ZZ's forces are on this bottom side. He's going to be looking to capture this flag and this flag up on the hill by the looks of things. Meanwhile, playing very defensively on these two flags on the top side. Gonzo, on the other hand, he's spread a bit more evenly. He's got a lot less forces on the very bottom side here, so this flag might be quite vulnerable, but on the hill, he's certainly going to have a lot of forces to work with, and he's going to be holding onto this flag nicely, covering that from the hill. On the top side, definitely has more forces than ZZ, but isn't pushing or rushing this town terribly fast. So ZZ will have enough time to react should Gonzo have a go at pushing that. Currently 13 to 11 from the start. That's just because of this flag being currently contested by Gonzo. Once the infantry end up pushing up there, he's going to be in a very decent position for sure. We've got the flamer engagement on this bottom side. Ognamachiki were unseated. Now they're going to smoke themselves off from the sniper whilst they try and do a runner. Avto is going to be trying to get into these buildings ASAP so that when the Ognamachiki push forwards, he can just delete them very, very quickly. But look at this. There is a lot of forces here from ZZ. He could continue to push through there if he wanted to, but has actually chosen to unload a couple of his units already. Ognamachiki open range engagement. Wow, the Avtos there helping out. Absolutely smashed two of the infantry squads. Two of the flamers going down. Going to be jumping forwards into the next building. Looking for this flamer squad now. These two units of half-tracks moving down onto the backside of the Avto. Sniper takes the shot, takes out the flamer. Meanwhile, on this road, Gavardia DP currently engaging the Strelki DP and the Ognamachiki at maximum range at the 750 meter range. The Gavardia DP have the same strength as the Strelki DP because they both use the same machine guns. Either way, Avto is currently now engaging Gavardia DP, currently getting outnumbered completely, which is why their effectiveness is rather limited. The flamers moving there have unseated the Avtos, and these Avtos are having a hell of a hard time at the moment, just under fire from a distance. As soon as they reveal themselves, all the machine guns coming down from ZZ and just decimating these forces on the bottom side. So Gonzo's in a bit of a bad spot here. He's relinquished this point. He's also given away this point. He has a nice position up on this hill though, and is pushing through very, very hard in the center, using his half-track to lead the charge and his two Stuarts. His Stuarts are going to get off that hill ASAP because the T-34 was firing at it from a distance. Meanwhile, on this very top side, the one Gavardia is under threat. It looks like Gonzo did realize that there wasn't too much here as he started to move up with his Strelki DP and just pushed through with two Avtos, took that flag from ZZ. This map is all over the place. It's incredible. One of the M5Ls does go down. T-34 takes care of that. One of these Strelki has come in to just prevent this push for the time being on the bottom side. Gonzo forced to bring in his armored forces. M5L and now the M3S Gomrodzi on their way to back that up. Infantry engagement continues here. Gavardia slowly whittling down this one Strelki DP squad. It's also now backed up. The Gavardia are backed up by the T-34 76 1942 there. Strelki, these guys are in trouble. All of this machine gun fire, look at that. So many men engaging that one poor infantry squad, and now no infantry left to support these tanks. With a T-34 there, could be bad news for the M5s. Either way, the M2A1 half-tracks have pushed up. Oh, nice move from this M2A1 here. He's looking for the off-map. And off-map's going to get cancelled. ZZ thinks there's more here than there is. He saw the half-tracks move in here, so I guess he assumes there's infantry that's been unloaded too. But that's all unloaded on top of this hill right now. This off-map's going to whiff completely. So Perry there maybe might be able to take care of the M2A1 if the off-map hits that. But on the way is another T-34, 2 more Tanko Thessaloniki. Nice salient here for Gonzo. Big salient for ZZ on the bottom side. We're seeing that tank support come into play now. Gvardia DP currently engaging the M5Ls with its PTRD. Probably not the best choice of engagement for that infantry squad. But not something you're likely to micromanage. Generally, you're not going to turn off the PTRDs, so in that case, just unlucky that they did reveal themselves. 4 units of Strelki now here to cover these advancing tanks. T-34 does have to be careful at close range, and the Strelki here, oh, they're not going to unload in time, or the second one, they might unload within the 100-meter range, allowing them to throw the grenade, but Gonzo doesn't realize, doesn't get the unload done in time, and, well, I think ZZ got away with that for the time being. I think maybe just managing this infantry engagement instead. The M2A1 did unload a couple of Tanko Thessaloniki here, and, well, Gonzo completely outnumbered him, so ZZ losing his forces that tried to push up onto this hill. But currently, ZZ nicely spread out here across these flags. Concentration of forces coming through, though, from Gonzo now. These Strelki at close range could potentially gone on top of the 1942. The M3S Gomrotis do get the job done onto one of them. The second one goes down to the Strelki. Both of the T-34s lost on the bottom side. I think that's a little bit careless there from ZZ, especially considering he knows the movements of these tanks. Now he's got an abundance of ranged units to deal with his close-range infantry squads. The Gvardia DP not quite in line of sight to help out at the moment. The other longer-range squads are being slowly but surely picked off. Keeping these Tanko Thessalonikis in a position where if any infantry pushes into them, they get slaughtered would be the best way to go about that. Meanwhile, the last of these half-tracks in the centre have been cleaned up by ZZ. So nice job by him. That's going to give him back these 2 flags beyond the hill, pushing it back to 12 to 12. Gonzo no longer leading the game. IL-2M3 coming in from Gonzo with the napalm rounds. Meanwhile, though, this engagement between infantry still carries on the bottom side. The Gvardia DP do finally get involved, but with the M3Ss engaging from a distance, not going to go too well for them. IL-2M3 going to delete those Gvardia squads. The one man getting away with his life, only just. Nice positioning here from Gonzo on the top side. Does manage to capture the second flag on the top hill. Strelki DP coming through to engage Gvardia at close range. Managing to do very, very well with that top push, because ZZ basically left nothing there. But ZZ's now, of course, pushed through on the bottom. He's got a decent position with his close range infantry, but with the tanks that Gonzo has here, he doesn't have to be too concerned about getting too close. So you can see he's just driving straight up to them. The worst thing that can happen is a PTRD side shot. There is this 45mm that might clean up the M3S, but for the M5 Stuarts here, these could potentially just be easy troops to run down and then just engage them from a distance with the Strelki. 3 more Stuarts coming down that main road. Meanwhile, in the centre, ZZ's prepping to take more land. Gonna slaughter those Ognemachiki. They can't do anything from that range. Now just the Tanko Thessaloniki in the way. 2 Saperi waiting in their half-tracks to move forwards. Once those 2 infantry squads are gone, there's going to be a nice big salient here for ZZ. He does have the off-map. He's bringing that down on the top side. That's going to be smashing a lot of these infantry squads. T-34 1943s engaging from a distance at the moment. Nice off-map indeed. 37mm AA now on the way. Looking to cover maybe his push into this section of the map. still all to play for, that's for sure. Because Gonzo, he's managed to push back on this bottom side with the abundance of Stuarts and Strelky. But now, of course, ZZ looking to make a play on the top side of this hill. This hill more or less in control, at least the flags are, of Gonzo. But the 234-1942 here is going to make things difficult for these Strelky DP squads. These Tanko Dasaniki, as long as they stay in deep cover, should be okay. The AT gun was killed off down here. Sniper's probably going to die as well. There it goes. And the M5Ls and Strelky do the job. Now the T-34-85-1943 going to try and get involved. At close range though, vulnerable to being overwhelmed by these Stuarts. Towards the center, Strelky still getting shut down. ISU 122 now on the field. As just fired, gotta be careful. T-34-76. Can he get the kill? He can. The reason I said that he needs to be careful is because these don't have particularly great rate of fire. But it did fire a HE shell, not an AP shell, so didn't have to reload in that regard. Two flamers coming up here. Well, just one flamer, sorry, and two snipers. They were trying to potentially take advantage of the off-map, but still some reasonably healthy squads there from Gonzo, holding the 13-11 currently on the map. Nice positioning here for ZZ, going to be able to get these Sapari into very annoying positions. I think what Gonzo's done well so far is he's kept his troops relatively concentrated. Now, it hasn't necessarily worked out against the off-map, of course, on this top side, but in general, that's allowing him to hold on to more flags, whereas on the bottom side, I think ZZ spread out his units quite a lot to take as many flags as he could, which is fair enough, but did leave himself vulnerable to being picked off. And with the concentration of forces coming in from Gonzo, those individual units did die one by one. Now the two squads of Gavaria going to be coming up against 5 squads of Strelky, 2 of them the Strelky DP. Got the Gavaria, Strelky, probably going to beat Gavaria at the mid-range anyway, and even at the close range because of the SVTs again. Saying that, the Gavaria do have the 2 submachine guns, so it does even things out a little bit. 4 Gavaria on the way. Stuart's ready to help out. T-34-85 going to be the only thing really in the way right now. All IL-2 coming in with a bombing strike. He needs to be careful he doesn't hit his own infantry. Damn, that was close. That was close. IL-2M from ZZ coming in to rocket the ISU 122. Wants to get that out of the way so that he can charge forwards with the T-34-76s. Another IL-2M3 coming in as well on the bottom side, looking for the kill onto these 2 Gavaria squads. Bombs away. Down they go. One of the squads does actually survive. SU-152 now getting involved. This is a unit that is unique to the 44th. Fantastic for cleaning up infantry. Tanks, maybe not so much. But over time, HE shells will destroy these tanks. Certainly destroyed the building next to them. Tanko Dasaniki again staying concentrated here, working as one to take out the individual infantry squad. ZZ is pushing forwards. Eventually, ZZ will be able to get the better of these Tanko Dasaniki, and he has managed to capture back that flag. So now 13-11 once again. Looking to capture this flag on the far side of the hill. Strelky DP forced to unload early. T-34s are engaging those. ISU 122 now sneaking up once again though. So the T-34's got to be careful. I don't think they have line of sight onto the ISU 122 just yet, so he won't be able to see it's there. Not without any recon at least. Oh, the T-34-85 has joined the SU-152, but the SU-152 does go down. So traded that. I'm not sure quite what he killed. I think he's managed to kill one of the M5s here. And maybe one of the M3Ss has gone down as well. Trading an SU-152 for that seems a bit of a waste. IL-2M now coming in for a rocket strike on this top side. Looking for the side shot into the ISU 122. Left it a bit late. ISU 122 safe for now. IL-2 is going to have to move around for the strike. Gets into position. These IL-2s aren't as good as some other divisions. Like Bazugli, I think their IL-2 planes with rockets have 8 rockets, whereas these only have 4. The IL-2Ms there. Not as good, and not really even pinning down the ISU 122s. Nice kill there onto the T-34-85. Takes that out. Great push in from ZZ. Looks like he dropped a second off-map onto this position to make that work. Continued engagement on the bottom side. Gavardia versus Thraki. These Gavardia are getting very weak, though, over time. T-34-85, not the best unit to provide infantry support. Both expensive and lacking an MG for that role. Well, we see the IL-2s. He brought in 2 of them this time to clean up one of the ISU 122s. We managed to see the IL-2M3 with the Napalm clean up 2 of the infantry squads of ZZ. These Napalm IL-2s have come in very handy for Gonzo so far, just cutting down on the infantry on the ground so that he can move forwards with his own. Scavardi is still holding position though. Other T-34-85 coming over to help out. Might leave his reinforcement road vulnerable to being shot at by this Stuart though. Especially if there's nothing to stop that from shooting down that line of sight on the other side of this building. Getting away with it for now. Su-76Ms coming in. These are the AT variant. Less HE shells. And no indirect fire available. 45mm, not really going to be doing too much against the ISU 122. Definitely going to get killed off there. Looks like the Strelki have managed to move through. When they get these mid-range engagements with the SVTs, will absolutely demolish the Gavardia as they move away. IL-2M3 coming in with a rocket strike. Looks like that was onto this T-34. Not very effective though. This T-34-85 here is actually turret stuck at the moment. It's a bit unfortunate for ZZ. 45mm though, doing its job, takes out one of the M5s. These are great for cleaning up light tanks. You can see that demonstrated there. Givardi is now cleaning up the last Strauki in that tree line. Only the Strauki left on the bottom side. But the Givardi in the light cover in the swamp was cleaned up. So these Strauki, once they recover, will be able to move back into cover because the T-34-85 is not engaging those. Sniper, still firing away. Gonna keep those Gavardia pinned. Gavardia DP, they're kind of trying to come up. They're not in cover. They could move forwards a little bit to get into light cover, but the Strauki DP really strong there. Oh, nice use of the Su-76Ms. Actually, maybe they can indirect fire. Blimey. That's quite a distance. Unless that's just the 2,000 meter range. Oh yeah, looks like it's just a 2,000 meter range. It's not indirect fire. Never mind. These Tank of Thessaloniki, it looks like Gonzo's managed to get an Avto up to them in order to push the front line back over. Still 13-11 for Gonzo. And considering like how wild this game has been, with huge salience on both sides, I'm surprised at how well Gonzo's managed to hold on to the 13-11 for so long. He's actually brought down ZZ to half tickets so far. Sniper. Oh, gonna unload the Strauki DP there. Strauki DP finish off the sniper nice and easy. IL-2 coming in for the bombing strike actually onto the Su-76 PTs, but there is the 37mm, a rather odd placed 37mm. Gonna maybe just about manage to stop that. Nope, manages to take out one at least. Nice use of that napalm plane. IL-2Ms. Looks like they did manage to clean up the last ISU 122 there. Both of them forced back, however. One of them actually shot down. Also, the IL-2 on the side of Gonzo going down. Both players learning to use AA. It's beautiful to see. So far in this series, not much AA brought in until very late into the games. This time around, it's only taken them 15 minutes. Well, probably just over 15 minutes. But either way, both the M3S and the M5 go down for the T-34-85. The 85mm AA takes care of that. The two Su-76 MPTs now pushing forwards very aggressively. Do need to be careful. PTRD can rip through the armor of these Su-76 MPTs. M5 out, of course, can as well. Can't get too aggressive, definitely needs more infantry to make that work, and, well, certainly more infantry he has. That's going to be 7 units of Gvardia on their way to that bottom side. Meanwhile, on the top, Gonzo bringing in his own infantry. There's going to be Avtos, there's going to be 2 Strelky DP, even the 37mm having a go at some of these infantry squads of ZZ. That top side's looking not terribly good. But I'm surprised that this salient hasn't been exploited more by ZZ so far, especially pushing towards this flag in the trees with his closer range infantry. He's got the 2 Sapari, he's got the Gvardia there to cover them. Gonzo currently just using one single Sapari there to hold that position. Now Gonzo to the 15-9 has managed to capture this flag. These 3 on the top side certainly making a big difference. And on the bottom side, Gvardia trying to get on top of the M5L will manage to kill it. That might allow him to surround these forces on the bottom side, but the PTRD takes out one of the Gvardia so far. We see the IL-2M coming in for the rocket strike onto the T-34-85. A second squad going down to the Strelky DP. These are deadly at the mid-range. Already taken out 2 of those 7 Gvardia squads on their own. Nicely done, Strelky DP. But now all these Gvardia have unloaded. Those should get taken care of, especially with the Gvardia at close range. As soon as they get pinned, they'll be surrendered. And then that will open up 2 flags for ZZ on the bottom side. He can bring it back to 13-11 at least. For the IL-2Ms, oh, that was going to be a risky play. I love the way they shot at the IL-2M as it went past. That might actually cause the IL-2M3 to get shot down by this 37mm. It's got surprisingly good line of sight from that heavy cover. Doesn't manage to get the IL-2M3 this time around. Those 2 rocket planes, they were planning to target the 85mm AA, but that probably wouldn't have ended too well. So good job by ZT to realize that and back off. 3 units of Strelky DP now coming in onto this bottom side. Going to be hard for the Gvardia to deal with Strelky DP at a distance, but ZZ does have the T-34-85 to help support from range, especially if he moves it around to sort of this area and avoids the line of sight of the 85mm down the road. But certainly more troops on the field right now for Gonzo. Large concentration here might allow Gonzo to even continue to push through towards this flag. He's actually getting very close to being on top of the 37mm AA that was shooting his IL-2s, and Gonzo's obviously taken note of where his IL-2s were being shot from and is now moving in to take that out. Gvardia DP now moving onto the bottom side, both players concentrating on the side of the map they already have control of. Avtos make short work of that AA. Off map coming down once again. Off map placement, a bit off, of course. He is not aware of where Gonzo's infantry are, like we are. And surprisingly, Gonzo's gonna give up the game. 23 minutes and 7 seconds. Easy surrenders. Maybe very low on infantry availability. That's the only reason I could see him giving that up. His Vanguard division, of course, gonna get outlasted by a flatline, because flatline builds slightly different to a Vanguard. Vanguard's very much all in. You want to win by 20 minutes. Past 20 minutes, a flatline, it generally has an extra card of infantry in phase C, and that allows you to win those longer games. And I guess maybe ZZ identified that and realized that he probably didn't have much of a chance from that point on. Also, Gonzo had a massive lead in tickets, so it would have been a very, very long game if he wanted to bring it back. And I think Gonzo's ability to maintain the 13-11 throughout that messy early game really gave him the advantage he needed to seal the deal. And, well, great job by Gonzo. 2,390 kills to 1,610 losses. Just shows how much value he was getting out of his units in those engagements. His tanks are very cheap compared to ZZ's. So whenever those M5s are getting kills onto T34s or the like, he's getting a lot of value. The Starkey DP, similar sort of price to Gavardi at DP, but the Starkey DP obviously a bit better, so they tend to go 2 for 1 in this scenario. And if we jump over to the kills, I'm sure that will show. Avtos, we got the 2-man flamer squads going down very quickly to the Avtos initially in that bottom side engagement. The Tank Thessaloniki there doing well as well. I think Gonzo did well to take control of the town, or not the town, the center hill on the bottom side early on, because it gave him a really nice position to kind of just sit and provide a lot of presence over the map. He didn't really take advantage of it as the game continued, but that's mainly due to the fact he's playing 184th and doesn't have too many longer range units other than the ISU 122s to really do that job. Anyway, M3S did take out the T-34-76 again. Really good value for an M3S to take out one of those tanks. The IL-2 M3s with the napalm bombs were doing really nicely to cut down on the availability of infantry that ZZ had. That ISU 122 just above the hill really did well to cover that road for a nice amount of time. Killed 3 of those T-34 1942s. Again, another lovely 4 infantry squads killed there by the napalm. It's not really great value for the unit, but just taking away infantry availability from your opponent in 1v1, especially from a Vanguard deck, is actually really vital. A nice ISU 122 there, killing 3 1943 T-34-85s. That was on the top side, the one sitting on the edge of the hill, sniping that road and the reinforcements. And I think that's one place where Gonzo did really capitalize on his like engagements from the high ground, using the ISU's 122s there. Really just noticed that ZZ had only placed that one Gavardi DP there from the start, and then had that town for pretty much the rest of the game. ZZ didn't even really try to take back the top town, but definitely contested the flags below it. 85 mils coming in, managed to clean up the SU-76 MPTs and the T-34-85 1943. They're getting killed on the road on the bottom side. This 37 mil surprisingly managed to get the kill. I was questioning its positioning, but actually no, that's Gonzo's 37 mil. Sorry. If we jump over to ZZ, nice kills there from the T-34-76 1942. Some of these 1942s actually did pretty well indeed. T-34-85 1943s, they did okay, but they are quite expensive. So killing 2 Germans and a Starkey DP is not like the most value that you can get out of those. But yeah, really, really nice back and forth throughout this game. ZZ certainly didn't play to Gonzo's game in this one and just went for it massively with his own pushes into his own big salients, and it was an awesome game. Just sad that ZZ couldn't carry on, and likely due to availability in the long run. But that's it. Gonzo wins. That's going to be 2-1 to Gonzo. He takes the victory and takes that semi-final. So he's going to be moving on to the final to face off against Nilla. That's going to be awesome. But before we cover the final, there is a 3rd place playoff. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. That's going to be between ZZ and Sean. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.